Welcome to the Cultivation Podcast. I'm your host, Tom Hamill, and today's show is all about crucial conversations, right? And what does it mean? How do we control them? How do we make sure that we're staying focused through them and getting accomplished what we're setting out to do? Crucial conversations. So let's get into it. If you're like me, and hopefully you're not, because I'm a little bit of a weirdo, but if you're like me, sometimes we can get into a heated conversation that seems to only do damage and go nowhere, but you feel stuck saying, oh, I can't talk to this person, I can't talk to that person, this is too sensitive of an area, and that is where we have crucial conversations. And this total episode is inspired by this amazing book. You can find it on our website, ourcultivatedlives.com. You can go to the book page or tab, and there you can find the link for the Amazon Crucial Conversations. This is a powerful, powerful tool. I highly, highly recommend it. I've read that book multiple times, and I can promise you this, I'm going to read it multiple more times. And this episode is a little different in that this is almost a book review or a book highlight, if you will. I'm not sponsored or paid by the authors. If they want to do that, we'll take it, but I'm just really inspired by it, and I want to share this tool resource with you because the cultivated life, the cultivation journey, the cultivation podcast and community is all about digging deeper, getting what we want out of life, taking action, becoming the person that we want, that the bold person, the creative person, the purpose-driven person that we're meant to be, and sometimes that means we have the crucial conversations and we need the tools to do that. I remember back when our oldest daughter was going through junior high school, and she's at graduation time now. So this was more than a minute ago. Yes, I'm that old. I have a high school graduate, but there was a time where, that junior high drama was popping to the surface. And if you've ever had a junior high child in your house, or maybe you remember junior high school, you know what I'm talking about when I talk about the junior high drama. But there was some tension happening with friends, and we were navigating as parents, where do you step in? Where do you step in? And here's the thing. If you rescue people from those kinds of moments, they never learn the skills of having conflict management or crucial conversations. And we all, every one of us, even myself to this day, we need to learn, hone, practice the art of navigating conflict through having these crucial conversation tools, resources, and really just engagements and interactions with people. So what are the tools for our crucial conversations? The first thing that they I'm not really going in order, but one of the things that stood out to me in the book that they really talk about is staying focused on what you want out of the conversation. I know this has been true with my kids. This has been true in my marriage. This has been true with my friends. This has been true at work, where people start getting their personal feelings involved and emotions involved. And then not only do you not agree, but now you're calling each other names, right? And you're like, well, you never, and you always, and it's always like this, and I just never feel blah, 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 right? And then, so how do you stay on target instead of getting emotionally tied to the conversation, even if you are emotionally tied to it or you're a passionate kind of person? How can you state what it is that you want out of the conversation? And so we do this as a couple. Hey, I need to talk to you about something that's sensitive. This is what I hope to achieve out of this conversation. This is the target. So I'm not trying to throw jabs at you. I'm not trying to throw verbal bombs at you. I'm not here to accuse you of anything. I'm just trying to get to this, whatever that thing is. I'm trying to get to this understanding. I want us to have a better grappling or mode or a better structure for our finances. I want us to have be a better team for disciplining our kids, right? You can fill in the blanks with where it is apply that crucial conversation. Hey, when you're talking to a friend, hey, when you say this, it makes me feel that way. I'm trying to not feel that way. So I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm just saying this is what I'm trying to walk away from this conversation with. And if you can stay focused on that, when things start getting heated, when things start getting intense, when things start building up, you can just go, hey, wait, let's come back to what it is my focus is, or that I'm trying to accomplish, that I'm trying to achieve, that I'm trying to do. So you got to stay focused on what you want out of the conversation. Secondly, one of the key things that they talk to us about is that you have to be a safe place. What that means is when you're having these crucial conversations, you're not making accusations. Rather, you're saying, help me to understand, and that you truly, genuinely become a safe place for someone to open up about their side of the conversation. So many times, because we're so agenda driven and we try to hide our agendas when it comes to these conversations. And I know that my brain, we've talked about assumptions and what our brain craves episode, but our brain jumps to assumptions, jumps to conclusions, and that's true not just of me, it's true of all of us. So when we're having these crucial conversations, people start assuming what it is I want out of the conversation, or what my true objective or motive is. And so sometimes what we have to do is come back to, wait, nope, this is what I'm trying to accomplish out of this conversation. I'm going to be a safe place where I'm not accusing you or assuming what your motivation or what your underlying agenda is in this conversation. And so you can restate what you're trying to get out of it, but then you make sure that you are a safe place, that you're not reacting, that you depersonalize the conversation, that whatever that person is going through, and again, whether it's a friend or a coworker or a family member or a spouse, you go, okay, what you're going through is what you're going through, and it's not really about me. Even if you're trying to take it out on me, I'm going to choose to be a safe place, that I ask more questions and not jump to assumptions, that I reiterate what I think I just heard you say in a non-accusatory way. Because as soon as those things start elevating, what happens is now you start fighting, and there's conflict rather than communication. There's conflict rather than conversation, which gets you nowhere. There's no progress. You're never going to reach your agenda or objective behind having this conversation if there's conflict where you're not able to communicate anymore. So make sure that you are a safe place for these. And if you become a safe place, then ultimately over time, depending on the length of the relationship or maybe the damage or health of the relationship, over time that person becomes a safe place, because they begin to trust that what you're stating your goal is actually your goal. Because most people don't trust it because of history or time or previous wounds, that sort of thing. Oh, yep, here we are again. You're going to accuse me of this. You're going to accuse me of that. A crucial conversation says, hey, I'm going to become a safe place so that this relationship becomes a safe place for both of us to have two-way conversations. And then another thing that they said really in this book, and it's a team of writers that has written this, and there's so many tools, PDFs, downloads, all of that kind of stuff. So be sure to check out this book, Crucial Conversations. Make sure, just get this book, get the audio, the e or the tree version, just really get it. Okay. What they say is have takeaway steps. What does that mean? Well, we talk about this in the failure loop. We talk about this in a lot of our tools of, what am I going to do differently leaving this conversation, or what am I going to take responsibility for leaving this conversation? So we say, hey, okay, I've stated what I wanted. I made sure I was a safe place. Now, as we end this conversation, because it can't go on all night, it can't go on forever, when we walk away from this conversation, I'm going to do A, B, and C, and you're going to do X, Y, and Z. And that's not you don't want to give those demands. You're just saying, hey, as we're concluding this conversation, you're committing that you're going to do these or not do these, depending on the topic or conversation that you're having. And I'm going to do these or not do these in the future, so that we are reaching this objective and we are a safe place to have these conversations. And then I would say one of those action steps should be, how are you going to revisit this conversation to measure your progress? Because measuring your progress is what allows you to celebrate the growth of this relationship. And if this is a crucial conversation where you're terminating the relationship, it's a little harder to have those follow up agendas, those follow up items, those things that you would do if you're terminating the relationship, which obviously is a different level of a crucial conversation. But if you're trying to grow the relationship, you say, hey, every next Tuesday or every Tuesday that we have this conversation. I say that because that's my date night. In case you're wondering, my wife and I, we choose Tuesday nights for our date nights. Our daughters have activities that they drive themselves to, so it's a free night for us, and restaurants aren't crowded, so we try not to do the Friday night date night. That's usually for family time. So we have a routine. Every Tuesday, we're going to do a checkup. Every Tuesday, we're going to do a follow up. How are you doing at doing these things, or how are you doing at not doing those things, or what is it that's missing for you, and what is it that you're wanting or longing for, right? And so you're able to come back and revisit, how are you doing on the action steps, or how am I doing on the action steps? And we give that evaluation and feedback time that keeps the crucial conversation going, and over time that lessens the tension and increases the progress and the celebration on whatever that thing is. And again, it's easy for me to apply this to marriage as you talk about finances, as you talk about raising kids and disciplining kids, as you talk about schedules and all of the things that possibly could become a source of conflict of what's getting your attention, and are you giving enough attention to each other. But this is really true for any relationship in your life, that you need to have a crucial conversation, and it could be with a neighbor, it could be a friend, coworker, right? You fill in the blanks. So crucial conversations, they are the stuff of life. We got to have them. We can't avoid them. Avoiding them only makes them more crucial. So I would say take the action step of having those crucial conversations. Pick up the book. It's really powerful stuff, really powerful stuff. And hopefully these tools, this evaluation has been helpful. Stay focused on what you want and state what you want to get out of the conversation. Make it a safe place to have the conversation, and have some action steps or some takeaways as a result of the conversation. Just three keys that I wanted to bring out of that book. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Be sure to check us out on social media. We're on all of the websites, on all the feeds: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We'd love to interact with you. We'd love to hear your story. We'd love to read your comments. We read them. We respond to them. We'd love for you to share this show as we're trying to multiply our audience. And be sure to check out our website, ourcultivatedlives.com. It's where you're going to find the link to the Crucial Conversations book and any other books that we've recommended. Also, shows and show notes, those kinds of tools. Those are all there for you, so be sure to check out ourcultivatedlives.com. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. That's the show today, the Cultivation Podcast with Tom Hamill. Until next time, peace out. Thanks for checking us out today on the Cultivation Podcast. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the incredible content that's coming your way. Also, in the comment thread below, be sure to put your comments, your feedback, your story. We want to hear that. We want to hear from you. We read those. We respond to those. We journey together in this cultivated life.